Yo, it's your boy, Mr. Classy Van Perry in the house, and I hope all of you are in your houses, healthy and safe. I know it's been really hard for us collectors in the last few weeks. It's almost impossible to go do figure hunts, and it's really hard to order stuff online because it takes forever to arrive. But we just got to be patient, and this is going to go away soon, and we'll get back to collecting those classic figures we all love. So, what I wanted to do today was something I've wanted to do for a long time. Compare WWE Mattel retro figures to WWF Hasbro figures. Now, this is something I wanted to do for a long time because I was such a huge fan of the Hasbro line. And when I saw the Mattel line, I was so happy. It brought back a lot of memories. So I really want to see how well Mattel did in replicating the Hasbro line. So let's take a look at the head scans, the body scans, the cards, the back of the cards. We'll analyze that. So let's take a closer look at how well Mattel did in replicating the Hasbro line. All right, here we go. We got the WWF Hasbro figures that were released in 1990 until 1994. And we got the WWE Mattel retro figures that were first released in 2016 and ended in 2019. We're hoping that more retros are going to come out because a lot of people love this line. A lot of collectors love this line. And here we got a Lucy Macho Man Randy Savage, which we'll compare with the Seth Rollins figure when I'll let him breathe in a couple of minutes. But first, let's check out the cards. As you see, they're about both the same dimensions. Yeah, they're both the same size. They both have the logos on the upper left side of the card. On the Hasbro figures, there's the official and World Wrestling Federation writing on it above and under the logo. For the Mattel line, there's no writing here on the top or at the bottom of the logo. We got the wrestler pictures on the top right corner. On this Seth Rollins figure, there is a little stand. Here for the Hasbro figure, there was no stand. There's a graphic here of the actual action that the toy does. I know later models of the retro figures didn't have a stand and actually had a graphic, same like the Hasbro figures had. Now here we got a little official WWF product logo here. Here there's nothing. We just have more graphics here for the WWE app on iOS and Android. At that time, in 1990, there was no cell phone apps, so that's why there isn't anything here. But that's okay. Here we got the wrestler signature printed on the front of the card. Okay, so both cards look very similar in shape, similar in size. Just a couple of details that are different, such as the writings and a couple of logos missing. Here's a signature. There's no signature here. What I do think is missing on these Mattel cards is a little bit of the detailing that the Hasbros did. I feel this space here is empty. Feels like anybody could have just printed this and just missing the details. Details are important to me, and I feel like they could have at least put like official World Wrestling Entertainment. Just would have been a little bit more realistic to how the Hasbros looked before. They both have, I missed this here, they both have the wrestler names at the bottom. Seth Rollins IRS. Let's look at the back of the card. Here we got the wrestler action with another wrestler figure. And here we got the instructions on how to get those actions onto the figure. And here we got the rest of the wrestlers in that line. Then we got some more information, some legal information, I guess, copyright information with the WWF Mayhem app Google Play, iOS App Store. We've got the Mattel logo, and we got the UPC code, sorry. Now, on the Hasbro card, as you can see, it's a lot different than the Mattel card. Here we got all the wrestlers in the line. We got the wrestler still doing the same action instructions like in the retro line, but here we got much more space reserved for different figures in the line compared to here, which is a little space, and the rest is just writing that nobody really cares about. The Hasbro line had a little clip and save card that you could cut out and kind of collect. Kids used to cut them out and collect them, and you got some World Wrestling Federation premium points you could have collected as well. I don't really remember what these points would give you, but it's really some cool details here. On the other hand, the retro card, like I said earlier, has access to the apps, the Google Play Store, the iOS Store. I guess there's some kind of code that you get with the figure. Oh, when you scan the figure, you could get certain access to the app and stuff like that, features. If I would say which ones I would prefer, I obviously prefer the Hasbro line because there's so much more figures to look at. There's less writing. Just looking at different figures, you know, when you're a kid, you want to see all different figures that you could collect. And even though it's just black and white, this one's in color. But I prefer this one because there's so much more you could look at instead of just writing on the retro back of the card. What do you guys think? Which card do you guys prefer? They look similar, but there are differences. I prefer the Hasbro card. Maybe it's a little bit more nostalgic, but I also feel like it's a little bit more detailing, like the writing, the autographs, and the back of the card. There's much less writing, and there's a lot more figures in the back there. All right. So now what we're going to do is compare. I'm going to put this away because, like I said, it's on card for life. I'm going to compare a Macho Man figure, Lucy Baby, to Seth Rollins. We're going to let him breathe here. Here we go. Oh, here's the QR code you could scan for the app. And here you go. He is free to breathe. All right, now let's take a look at these figures. Now, this one came with a stand. This one doesn't have a stand. Let's look at the size first. How do they stack up in terms of size? They're both about the same size. Let me just compare the arms. The arms are, Macho Man's arms are a bit thinner. The hands are about the same size. Just stand them straight there. The back width is about the same size as well with the shoulders. It's really cool. I like how Mattel stuck to the same 4.5 inch size. This way you could grab your old Hasbro figures and play with your Mattel figures at the same time with the same, even the same ring, and everything's going to fit perfectly. All right, now let's look at the head scan here. The Macho Man here. And we got Seth Rollins, pretty good head scan. Try and get you that in focus there. Got the Macho Man scan right there, side by side. Now, I really think that Mattel did a great job. I mean, you got to remember that the Hasbro figures came out in 1990, so the technology wasn't as advanced as it is today in terms of head scans. So you got to respect Hasbro for what they did with the head scans. They really did a good job. But of course Mattel did an even better job with the head scans, in my opinion. 26 years apart, so a lot of things advanced in toy making, and I'm definitely, Mattel has the advantage in the head scans. They did a really good job, especially with the Seth Rollins. Let's take a look at under the feet. And with this figure, Macho has a little bit bigger feet than the Seth Rollins figure, but it's okay. This figure here is the Seth Rollins is the one that you press down and it jumps. Macho Man figure is the one where you just lift up the arms and just smashes down. So they're two different types of actions, and this mold is different than this mold, but they still are the same height, which is really cool. So Seth doesn't look smaller, or Macho doesn't look much bigger or anything like that. You could really put them together and they fit. Let's look at the paint details. Actually, let's look at the plastic for the quality of the plastic. For the quality of the plastic, they're about the same actually. I think they use the same type of plastic, hard plastic. Same thing for the legs. There's something with Seth Rollins' boots though, that it's kind of like a rubbery type of feel. I don't know if this was done on purpose or for any type of reason, but Seth has a little bit softer boots, while the Macho Man is still the same hard plastic as the rest of the figure. Let's look at the paint job. As you can see here, Seth has some belt, silver belt circles in the front, and in the back is just black and gray. Pretty simple stuff. They didn't go all out with the paint job with Seth Rollins. Just a pretty simple paint job. For the Macho Man, they put 3 stars on his crotch. In the back, there's nothing. I like the sunglasses, the black and the white. The boots are yellowish. Pretty simple as well. The Hasbro lines, they're not really known for the detailing. They kept it pretty simple. It was more of a line that was for kids, you know, keeping it simple, more kind of animated type of style, you know, with the small head, big bodies. And that's why there wasn't really much detailing with these figures. But you know what, we still love them today. Even adult collectors today love these figures. One, because I think it brings back nostalgic memories, and two, because they were just great figures, you know, and they're really good quality. They stand the test of time, and that's why I think Mattel brought them back. Actually, let's see if the Macho Man, we could fit him onto the stand as well. Yes, it does. It fits. So there you go, guys. What else can we compare? Not much. I would have liked to maybe compare a loose Hasbro figure that had the same action as the Seth Rollins. A lot of figures had the same action, like Bruce the Barber Beefcake. His first figure had this action, but I just didn't have a loose figure of Bruce Beefcake. I have one on card, but I don't want to let him breathe. But here it is, guys, comparing Seth Rollins Mattel to Macho Man Hasbro. I think Mattel did a good job. If you didn't know that these were two different lines, I think you wouldn't know the difference. There you have it, guys. Comparison between Mattel and Hasbro. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Mattel did a good job in replicating the Hasbro line? Please comment below, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think. And who do you think would have won in a match between Seth Rollins and the Macho Man? That would have been a great matchup. Now guys, don't forget to subscribe to my Instagram at ClassyVanPerry. That's it for me today. So guys, keep collecting, stay classy, on card for life, baby. I love you all.